Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel today for another video. If you are returning to the RP channel, let's talk about how to be interesting in a boring world. Now, first of all, as a side note, I want to say that I am not calling the world boring, but every day, and for most of us, this is what we see. Everybody lives a very mundane and routinely and orderly life. How do you stand out amongst the rest, amongst the masses? Or how do you invoke a feeling in other people where you essentially are creating an allure that is irreplaceable? That's what we're talking about today. It has a lot to do with magnetism. The purpose of this video is to make you guys understand the power of magnetism and that divine allure that we are trying to, encapsulate, emulate. I don't know the word for it, but let's start. Number one, the world is not boring. Beauty is just in the eyes of the beholder. Now, let me explain this. The world is boring if you're boring. The world is mundane if you're mundane, negative if you're negative, painful if you are in pain, because the world reflects who we are. We only see what we're feeling on the inside, or we're always projecting, or we're always reflecting. I always say that life is a mirror, and it's very true. This is true in this case too. If you see that there is no opportunity to create magic, there will be no magic created in your life. If you want to be magnetizing or have an allure and something that's irreplaceable or something that's unique, you need to understand how to create that sort of magic around yourself, and the way that you do that can be very different to each person. For me, that's honestly through feminine energy. I think tapping into my femininity. I made a video on it if you want to go and check it out, but you will see so much content online, books, just so many things that educating you about feminine energy and what that does for you. So if life is a mirror and you're always reflecting things to other people and everything is just projection all the time, then you need to try and find beauty in other people. Do you guys ever realize that when you meet somebody who's really positive, they're constantly uplifting other people, they constantly see beauty in everything in life, they're like, oh my god, this person is so beautiful, or these flowers are so beautiful, and all the time they just somehow see beauty in everything. You begin to see this person as beautiful too. When you see beauty everywhere and in everybody, you become a beautiful person yourself, and then people describe you in the same way. And this is just how it works. I don't know when I realized this, but when I did, it was such a shift, like a mindset shift that happened to me naturally, because I was like, wait a second. However you see other people is how you see yourself. And most likely that's how other people are going to interpret you as well. So if you want to have an allure of magnetism, you have to be very careful about what you're putting out there, because what you give is what you get. It was so hard for me to realize this and really make some deep changes, and I'm still working at it, just because I thought that, not everything can be my fault. Not everything can be on me, which is true, it's not. But there's definitely a very significant impact that I can make on my own life because of my own actions and my viewpoint and my mindset about things, right? Okay. Number two, figure out what makes you unique and put everything into what you're naturally good at, rather than trying to be equally good at everything in your life. I used to do this in school a lot when I was in high school. For some reason, I thought that if I put all of my time, effort, and energy into all subjects instead of what I was good at, then I would get equally good marks, which is what we usually do when we're in school, which is natural, which is fine. But that bled into adulthood as well. So when I became an adult, I wanted to be equally good at everything in my life. The best daughter, the best friend, the best whatever, and do my job right and make sure I did everything perfectly. But that is not realistic. But not only that, I wasn't honing in on my strengths. So for example, I was naturally good at reading and writing, and I figured that out when I was like 12 or 13, just from just the fact that I could write an exam and I wouldn't have to prepare for it, and then somehow I would get a really good grade in English. But then for math, I could study for 6 hours and then I would just barely pass. I don't know how that was possible, but I realized that reading and writing and interpretation, communication was my thing. And it took me a while to figure that out, but when I did, I was like, I am going to make the most of it that I can, and I made this basically my career. So take what you will from that. I think because there's such a standard of the type of woman that we should be, that girl, the girl that does this, the Pilates girl, the blah, blah, blah. We think that we have to do it all, and that's going to suit us, and that's going to be the thing that makes us happy, because we have to do what everybody else is doing online, which is not true. You have to do what you're naturally good at and put all into it, and that's how you become magnetizing in and of itself. That's magnetism in and of itself. Somebody who knows what they're good at and does it so well, that is so sexy, that is so attractive, and that becomes the factor that's irreplaceable in some people, right? Number three, get off your phone. I saw a video on YouTube the other day that was titled, "It Really Is That Damn Phone." And you know what? I was like, this is the smartest video title, because your phone ruins so many things, specifically when it pertains to comparison on social media. It makes you so unhappy. I can literally feel the difference from when I'm on social media. Even if I'm on it for like 20 minutes, I don't even have to spend that much time on it. If I'm on it for 20 minutes, I can notice a shift in my emotions and in my emotional body. I don't feel good, because I know that even if I'm not consciously trying to compare myself, I'm still in some way comparing myself, not even in terms of body type and all that stuff, but that's a whole other thing. That's toxic too. But in terms of people's lifestyles and what they're doing, and it always makes you feel like you're missing out on stuff, and then you start to get FOMO, and all of those things are a mere illusion. I don't have FOMO anymore, and I think a huge part of that has to do with the fact that I'm not on socials like actively all the time, and I try to be really mindful with the way that I use it. So get off your phone, stop looking at crap that doesn't teach you anything, that doesn't support you in any way or enlighten you. If you don't feel refreshed getting off social media, then chances are that you're not using it the way that you should be, or the way that you know you want to. I can notice an immediate difference when I don't spend a lot of time on my phone. I'm actually here having a human experience. I'm not living in a digital world. And I can tell you that from the perspective of somebody who's a creator, that it's not fun to be on socials all the time. It's not even fun to have an online persona for the most part, because anybody can tell you whatever they want. I was having a meeting with somebody about something that is coming up, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. But I was meeting with her, and I was talking to her about the fact that the people who appear to have the most mundane and boring lives are actually the ones that have the most interesting lives, and they don't need anybody to see that. That's the best part. Becoming like that not only makes you a little bit more enticing because you have an air of privacy around you. You know, not everybody knows everything about your life, and that's wonderful. Do not spill the beans right away. Don't tell people about your life, especially if they're not people that need to know these things. And it's different from being an open book. I think sometimes like being an open book is often really shamed, but you can be an open book, but you don't need to tell somebody like your whole life history, because then it just is boring after that. You know, you're not leaving any space for mystery. So when you first meet someone, try to keep that distance between you and the person with just like your history. You know, I realized very quickly that I'm far more happier not spending my entire day on my phone, and it actually heals my mental health in a way that I can't even describe. So get off your phone. Number 5, invest in yourself more than you invest in anything else. The fact that you've made it a normal thing to put more time, more money, more energy onto anything else that isn't you. I'm not saying that other things don't matter. Obviously, people matter, and there's certain things in life that you have to really put your time and energy into, but you have to be on the top of it. And this is the reality, okay? I know people are always like, you need to invest in a financial future, you need to invest in a good person long term, you need to invest in good friendships, and that's really important. I'm not denying any of that, but you are number one, my love. If you don't put anything into yourself, you will feel so burnt out, depleted, deprived of your feminine energy, which you don't want any of those things, because you will not feel good, and you will not be able to radiate that magnetic charm, which is what you actually naturally have. We all naturally have a magnetic charm. It's just tapping into it and cultivating it that becomes a little bit difficult for some people. It was for me. It's not anymore, because I took the time to figure it out. Number 6, foster strong, meaningful relationships. Even if you only have one person in your life, a good friend, because I hear sometimes from you guys say that you want to start making more friends and that you're not satisfied with your current friendships. As long as the quality of your friendships is good, so not how many people that you're friends with, as long as the quality of your friendships, even if it's just one friend that you have, like me, I pretty much only have 1 or 2, tapping into meaningful relationships and having a dynamic that you know is foundationally so strong is one of the most important things, and it's so underrated. I think that nowadays there's a pressure to have to want to know everybody, and then networking, you know, it's the only way that you're gonna meet people and make friends, and that's fine. But for my personal life, I'm so comfortable with the people that I have in my life, even if it's such a small, tight-knit group. I'm completely okay with that. It's not even a group, to be honest. I have one-on-one relationships with my friends and my family, and that's about it. And people can see that you care more about other things rather than materialistic, the things that everybody seems to always care about nowadays. When you have an interest in something that's different, that, my friend, is very alluring. And sexy, my favorite word to use is sexy lately, so we're gonna be using that word a lot. People can read very clearly through their own observation of you, who you are, through your friends. Have you ever heard that saying, the most famous saying, and I know it's annoying, but I'm gonna say it again, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. That's the reason that it's such a powerful saying. It's because the influences around you are so important. They make up who you are too. And so it's so important to align with people who have similar morality, be around people who uplift you. And you know what? I wanted to keep so many people from my past in my life that didn't serve me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, in whatever way. But here's the catch, and here is the price that I had to pay. My magnetism or my feminine energy was on an absolute zero, like the lowest level of lowest, the lowest level of zeros, okay? And this was because I realized this recently actually in 2025, because no matter what I did, I still went to the gym, I still went to yoga, I still meditated, I still journaled, I still did everything that I needed to do right. I thought I was doing it right, but the people in my life did not reflect my lifestyle. It was such an imbalance that it actually made me less attractive. I really think it made me less attractive. And it's not even just because of like their vocabulary. I would pick up on their body language, their aura, their demeanor. You pick up on those things even if you don't realize it. And that's what made me start to prioritize healthy connections and meaningful connections. I was watching a video the other day that kind of relates to this, where a woman was talking about quality over quantity in relationships or friendships, where you can spend 15 minutes on a phone call with someone and you can feel so energized and amazing and uplifted, versus you can spend 2 hours with somebody and feel absolutely drained. It's not about the amount of time that you spend with someone or your partner, but it's the quality of how you spent that time. It's what you spent that time doing, saying, putting out into the universe, all those things. And that's where I think reassessing who's in your life and how they're shaping your life and your future is such an important thing to do if you want to have this alluring magnetic energy. Okay, this is just how it works. Okay, magnetic people are just happy, satisfied people. They're very happy with their circumstances, the people in their life, and just themselves. And that is the number one thing that makes somebody so attractive. Number 7, learn to be honest. This is so crucial in my life right now, and I'm learning it slowly but surely. And it's that honesty is the most seductive thing ever. When somebody is honest about the mistakes that they make, who they are as a person to their core, the things that they do, the way that they are, it is so attractive. And I'm not saying that you have to tell everybody everything about your life, but when it comes down to it, being honest about who you are, and even in the little things, it's so seductive, and there's something about it that's just so attractive. So I'm trying to make that a practice in my life right now, and it's not easy. I'm not saying it's not an easy thing not to lie or something. It's just like we've been taught to not really embrace certain parts of ourselves, and that makes you want to hide away in a corner and pretend to be somebody else. But being honest about who you are is so attractive, sexy, alluring, all of the words we've been using up until now, my love. Okay, so that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought about it. I have so many exciting things coming. By the way, I do have my podcast that just came out. I forgot I didn't mention it on my channel yet. So if you want to go stream it on Spotify, it's called the RP Podcast, and I dive into topics in a little bit more detail on there. I also upload the audio formats for my YouTube videos if you want to check that out for my more popular YouTube videos. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.